Hey everyone, so if you've ever had a lung function test, you probably remember zeroing in on a couple of key numbers, right? Well, what if I told you that the entire way experts read those results has been completely flipped on its head? Today, we're going to get into the new global standard for really understanding your lung health.
For the longest time, the answer to this question was basically, yeah, your results were held up against these really simple fixed numbers. But it turns out that's kind of like judging every single student in a school by the exact same score. Doesn't matter if they're in first grade or about to graduate. It just doesn't work. It doesn't capture the whole picture.
So let's look at how the whole conversation has shifted. Before, it was all about these simple hurdles. Did you clear 80%? Are you over 0.70? But now the questions we ask are so much smarter, so much more personal. We're getting away from a single magic number and moving toward figuring out where you fit inside a healthy range, specifically for people just like you.
Okay, so why the big change? Why fix what wasn't broken? Well, it was broken. And to really get why the new system is so much better, we first have to talk about why those old one-size-fits-all rules were actually a pretty big problem.
And here's the absolute heart of the issue. Our lungs change as we age. It makes sense, right? What's normal and healthy for a 25-year-old is just not the same as what's normal for an 80-year-old. And if you use one fixed number for everybody, you can get into real trouble. You might miss an early disease in a young person, or you can end up telling a perfectly healthy older adult that something's wrong when it isn't.
Oh, this example just makes it so clear. Okay, check this out. Let's imagine two people. One's 25, one is 80. They both take the test, and they both get a score that is 70% of what's predicted for a healthy person their age. Now, for the 25-year-old, that's a huge red flag. It points to moderate lung impairment. But for the 80-year-old, that same 70% score is actually considered pretty normal. See? It's the exact same number, but it tells two completely different stories.
And look, this isn't just a new idea floating around. This is official. The top respiratory societies in the world, we're talking the European Respiratory Society and the American Thoracic Society, they've put their foot down. In their 2021 guidelines, they came right out and said the old rules are, and I quote, strongly discouraged. That's about as clear a signal as you can get that it's time to move on.
So, if the old way is out, what are we using instead? Well, what's taking its place is something way more powerful, way more personalized. It's a truly global benchmark.
So let me introduce you to the Global Lung Function Initiative, or GLI. The best way to think about it is like a massive worldwide census of healthy lungs. Researchers gather data from tens of thousands of healthy, non-smoking people from all over the planet, from little kids at age 3 all the way up to people who are 95. It's the most powerful and diverse reference library for healthy lungs that has ever been built.
And this is where it all comes together. Honestly, the easiest way to picture this is like a growth chart that pediatricians use for kids, but for your lungs. First, your lung function gets measured. Then, that number is compared to this huge database of healthy people who are just like you. Same age, same sex, same height. That comparison tells you your percentile, which is really just where you rank. And from there, we can see if you fall within the expected, healthy range. It's that intuitive.
Okay, get ready for just a tiny bit of statistics, but I promise it's super straightforward. You see this number, -1.645? This is kind of the new line in the sand, but what on earth does it actually mean?
Well, this is what's called a z-score. It's really just a statistical tool that tells you how far away your result is from the average for that healthy group we just talked about. And a z-score of -1.645, that's the 5th percentile. In plain English, this is the new lower limit of normal. If your score is above this line, you're within the range that we'd expect for 95% of healthy people just like you.
All right, so let's get practical. How does this whole new system actually help doctors decode your results and figure out what's going on inside your lungs?
What's really great about using z-scores is that it gives us a super consistent way to grade severity. So anything above that -1.645 mark is considered normal. But if you fall below it, your impairment can be classified as mild, moderate, or severe, based on these specific ranges. And the best part is, a mild impairment means the same exact thing statistically whether you're 18 years old or 80. It's consistent. At the end of the day, the goal of these tests is to spot key patterns. So an obstructive pattern, you see this a lot with things like asthma or COPD, that means you have trouble getting air out. The key indicator there is that your main airflow ratio is below that 5th percentile mark. Then there's a restrictive pattern. You might see this with something like pulmonary fibrosis, and that means your lungs just can't expand all the way to get enough air in. And we know that when your total lung capacity is below the 5th percentile.
So let's zoom out. What does this all mean for the future of lung health?
It really is a fundamental shift in how we even think about what's normal and what's not.
If there is one thing you take away from all this, it's this. Your lung health is not a single number. It is not a pass-fail grade. It's all about context. It's about comparing your result to a healthy population that looks like you. And, maybe most importantly, it's about tracking how that result changes over time.
This new global standard, it's a massive step forward. But it's not the end of the story, not even close. The same research that built this amazing new system is also pointing us toward a pretty exciting future. One where things like artificial intelligence and machine learning could create truly personalized predictions. I mean, just imagine a future where your normal isn't based on a group at all, but is predicted uniquely just for you. It's a powerful idea, and it's absolutely where all of this is headed next.